Today is August 25th, 2018. My name is Hollywood J. Black, and this is the Overtime Sports Show. Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day. It is storming like a motherfucker down here in Orlando, Florida. So if my stream a little bit bothered, I apologize in advance. But the show must go on. The headphones must hit the top of my head, and we must get this thing cracking. So it is Saturday. Welcome to the show, everybody. Strange things. I seem today has seemed to be an awkward day, and I'll tell you why. Today, I have this show all planned. Me and Big Sin have this show all planned. You know, we talk about this about a weekend in advance or so. We know what's going down. Big Sin actually was inspired to work on a new project. So we're giving him the leeway to do that. We got something special coming up for the gamers from the Big Sin side of things. So hopefully everybody enjoys the content that we put out. But the good news, my friend, the good news is that I'm here. I'm here to entertain y'all. I told you I wouldn't forget. I told you there's two things that I have. It's expectations and accountability. And my expectations that I told you that I was going to deliver the Overtime Sports Show on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays and give you guys the NFL preview show on Saturday. I said I set that expectation with all of my viewers and the subscribers on Facebook and on YouTube. And I'm definitely going to continue to do that because I want you guys to hold me accountable if I fail to deliver. So, again, Big Sin is working on some fresh new content from the Sinful Black Things. Yeah, 6 my time. It's I had some issues, Big Sin. If you are available, I definitely can bring you on. You see this? You see this? So, Mr. Sin, funny story. 6 o'clock, it's now 7:46. My microphone cracked right in half at the stand. This is for anybody that are streamers. I just want to let you know that ish happens. My microphone cracked right at the stand. You see this? I know you probably can't see it. Well, if you can, that part right there, cracked. All bad. All super duper bad. Because I had to come up with a way to put this thing together. So 6 o'clock went on. 6:30 went on. 7 o'clock went on. And you see what I had to do to put this thing together. So Big Sim, if you're out there, and I know that you're watching, yeah, fun indeed. If you're watching, sir, if you want to get in on this, I have full notes and everything. I could really use your opinion on this one. I could easily bring you on. Just let me know if you're ready. If you're at work, you're at work, and I understand. I know you're also working on your project too. So get your ass on here. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll do my little spiel while we get you set up. So, again, for streamers, everybody knows that shit happens. So the one thing I've learned in this little short time that we've been doing these videos is that two things happen. First and foremost, the show must go on. And two, you better get fucking creative while you can. I've learned both of those things in a very short amount of time. And it's been fun. I love it. I love the dealio. Give me a second here. Big Sin, I'm clicking on your name and it won't let me message. Oh, there you are, sir. There we go. Hey. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Mr. Sin is going to be one. All right, I sent it over whenever you're ready to come on. So, again, shit happens. That's the beautiful part about me doing these live things. It's the beautiful part about me doing the podcast because I get to talk about my struggles doing this. This is all new to me over the last year. Me and Big Sin, like we weren't born in the tech world, right? We were born in that cusp where you kind of had to learn about tech, but not really. They said it wasn't going to be that much. Maybe some shit. Now, YouTubers are making $1 million. Podcasters are making millions of bucks doing their thing. And I don't do it for the money. I do it for y'all because I like to express my opinions gracefully, ever so slightly, if you will. And yeah, that's just how I do. I'm really proud of who I am. Really hyped about who I am. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good about doing this. It makes me feel lively and lovely and beautiful. Big Sin will be on in a second. So without further ado, we have a bunch of stuff we got to talk about. Today, if you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock, I told you every Sunday that we do this NFL preview. This is part 3 or 4. I mean, every Saturday we do the NFL preview. It's part 3 or 4. Let me go ahead and bring him on. Here comes Big Sin in 2, 1. Bing. Hold on, wait. One more. We gotta combine this. Ta-da! What's up, Big Sin? How you doing today, sir?
What is good, my dude? You over here doing shit, not even letting me know you doing shit? What the fuck, man?
I said 6. I figured you knew. I figured you knew, my good friend.
It is 4:58 my time, motherfucker. This is almost 2 hours later. I look at my phone. It's like Hollywood J Black is going live. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Well, obviously, you see what I had to deal with. I would have been live a while ago if it wasn't for this bullshit. I figured you said you were working.
Last night, I'm sitting here not doing a goddamn thing. I see Overtime Sports Live. I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey, well, you know that we do this on Saturdays, though. So the show, sir.
So to let you know, our Overtime Sports intro that I put together already.
Yep.
I told you that was just a test package. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I have actually just downloaded a bunch of clips of our favorite teams: Patriots, 49ers, Warriors, Nets, Phillies, Dodgers, and the VGK Golden Knights. I am going to give our intro a nice little sports theme along with what I'm doing.
You know what you should do? Speaking of which, if you could add a little bit of something, you should put our boy Grim Gutter on because he does have a video for the song.
Oh, I know.
So if you can, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't mind us using a clip. So he's been really appreciative. And the anthem, I figure that is like the perfect anthem for Overtime Sports. Anything that we do sports wise. So if you can throw a clip or two in there with him in it, I think with all the teams and everything else and us, that will culminate into something special.
I got you. I'll see what I can put together on now.
Like I said, just a couple clips of you see, ladies and gentlemen, Big Sin has went from guy that didn't know how to use Photoshop to guy that is probably rivaling some of the best in the industry right now. And it all in a matter of 3 weeks now that you've been really at this. You've been kind of studying it, but you've been really at this for just a little bit about a time, and you're already doing wonderful things out there.
Well, I'm taking advantage of the PlayStation Share Factory. Yes, some people call it cheesy, but if you can actually make it work, the shit works great. Yeah,
no, I like it.
This morning, I don't know if you noticed, the first episode of Me and Amy's Undertale went live this morning.
Yes, and that's actually what I was talking about when I first started the show, is that last night going into the day, Mr. Sin has started his first ever with his daughter, which I think it's a beautiful thing. I love it when family comes together. Big Sin has started his new stream featuring Undertale, of wildly popular PC and now console game. and has put a little bit of twist on it. We're gonna advertise it, blow up the fuck out of it. I'm gonna annoy some people, probably end up having them unfriend me, but I can give two shits, lets, and a flying fuck because we promised them content and we're delivering on that promise. And I'd be goddamned if anybody gets pissed off about it.
We have had guaranteed this whole past week 2 videos a day, sometimes 3, even 4 some of the days, every day of the week, like I have told everybody I was getting ready to start doing.
Yep, that's right. It doesn't get any better than that. Like I said, we're going to advertise the fuck out of the Undertale thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. I've actually played the game and I love it myself. My son is adored by that game, so I know that he's going to love what you and Amy have put together. So without further ado, my good man, you know what it's time for. We got to talk about the dirty, dirty South. The dirty, 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 dirty South.
Divisions that 2, maybe 3 years ago were considered some of the worst divisions in the NFL because the whole divisions are basically assed a few years ago, especially the NFC South. Especially the NFC South, where the Carolina Panthers won the division with a 7-8-1 record.
Garbage, horrible. That whole division was horrible. I don't even have words to even tell people how horrible the AFC and the NFC South were. We were guaranteed just one playoff team coming out of there, and that was always by sheer luck. Remember when every team went 8-8 in the it was 8-8 and 7-9. Remember that? And then the Bucks were like 2-14 pre Jameis Winston. Oh my God, that was horrible. That was horrible. Let me pull up my notes.
Then when the Saints went back to being the Aints?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. This garbage. They had no running game.
I don't know if you noticed. You try and play that intro at the beginning.
Yeah.
All it showed the sinful black screen.
Yeah, I know. I did it on purpose.
Okay.
Because do you see how my mic is? I didn't trust that if I do the song like I normally do and move around the mic that I would end up without a mic.
That's why I emailed you the intro so you have the file.
Yes, and I had the file, sir. Okay. The problem is that it doesn't play the song when I do the video on the live. So I can play it. You can see the intro. Gotcha. So what I'm gonna have to do is find a way to do it in sync. It's gonna get a little bit tricky. I might end up having to use one of these tools that you told me to download to make it work, but we'll make it work. No, don't worry. We'll get it going.
Wait till I do the sports fund. Then we'll go from there.
Okay, perfect. So let's get right to it. We're gonna dive right in. We're gonna talk about the Tennessee mother-loving Titans.
You're talking about the team that has taken the Patriots 2.0?
Yes, led by Mike Vrabel. Yep. They have made a huge roster turnaround. They basically included Patriots players, such as Malcolm Butler and Deion Lewis. Mike Vrabel went and got those guys. They've also established Blaine Gabbert as the backup to Deshaun Watson. They've also picked up DaQuan Jones and Kevin Pamphlet.
Stop. You're talking about the Titans, not the Texans.
No, the Titans.
Deshaun Watson is on the Texans.
Oh, the Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry.
The Titans.
I'm sorry. Blaine Gabbert is backing up Marcus Mariota. Sorry, my bad. And they've also gotten Deion Lewis, Malcolm Butler. They've gotten Kevin Pamphlet and DaQuan Jones to shore up the line to protect Deshaun Watson.
Marcus
what do you
Mariota.
think about him?
Marcus
American
Mariota.
Back, not really, but still. Okay.
Deshaun Watson is on the Texans.
He might be.
Anyway, Mr. Black here seems to be a little confused between a Hawaiian and a black guy, so I'm going to get into this right now. The Tennessee Titans were top of the NFL last year. They came out of nowhere, and then Marcus Mariota got hurt again against the New England Patriots. and they just did nothing after that. Then they were a playoff team last year, if I do remember correct.
Yes, they did. They were a playoff team. They played Buffalo.
This year, like Mr. Black said, they added Deion Lewis, who was a nice scat back out of the back. You see the work he put in for New England over the years. Mm-hmm. DeMarco Murray announced his retirement, so they ain't got that piece of garbage sitting back there.
Nope.
They're gonna have the Thunder and Lightning with Lewis and the hell's that other running back? Oh, Derrick Henry.
Yep, that's correct. And again, seemingly Mike Vrabel is making his team, like I said, the Patriots 2.0. If you thought
the funniest part about this is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Black over there is looking at something. Me, I have nothing in front of me. I'm going off the top of my brain.
You know what? It's been a long day, okay? I spent hours on these notes. It's been a long fucking day.
And you made Deshaun Watson part of the Titans.
That's right. Fantasy football. Anyways. Fantasy fucking football. Oh, I might also want to throw up the AFC South logo there. There we go. See? Anyways, so what do you think of this team, sir? They were good last year. They were 9-7 with what they had. They trimmed some of the fat, built a little bit more muscle, became more Patriot-y, if you will. What do you think overall of this team?
What do I think overall of this team? I'm a big fan of Mike Vrabel. Always have been. But we do know that the Belichick coaching tree kind of only is like straight up because none of the people who come out from under him actually succeed. So,
very true.
But Mike Vrabel, on the other hand, was not a coach. So you're the player who learned under Bill. So we'll see how that goes. Marcus Mariota has all the talent in the world if he does not get injured. And having Deion Lewis back there, who is another guy who gets injured often, but when he's on the field, it's fucking fantastic. The Thunder and Lightning running back crusade with him and Derrick Henry should put up some good numbers for this team. They're still weak in the wide receiver portion of their team, and their offensive line is shaky at best. Adding Malcolm Butler to the defense shored up their corners situation, but they also lost some big corners in the offseason too.
Yeah, they lost some rough ones, man. I mean, that's the problem. That was the big thing. That defense was solid, right? Last year, that's really what kept them in games. Between Mariota's antics running down the clock and that defense doing what they were supposed to do, that really kept them in the whole thing. The problem ended up being where they couldn't close without Mariota. They were a shell of themselves. They had no identity. That whole offense revolved around Marcus Mariota. They built that entire offense around Marcus Mariota. And I don't know. I have yet to see what kind of thing they're going to do without their coach who built that offense. What are they going to do? Are they going to turn Marcus Mariota into a passing quarterback? I've seen flashes of him in the preseason, on the bench mostly because they're trying to protect his ass. But past that, I don't know. It's the big question. It's the big what if. I mean, can you imagine what's going to have to?
I don't see Marcus Mariota ever being a passing quarterback until he's about 13 years into his career. And by that time, he might not have a leg left.
Probably. And here's the worst part. If Mariota does go down, they have to rely on Blaine Gabbert. I mean, if there was only a guy who was out there with long legs that was very durable, that can scramble and had a cannon of an arm, just a free agent kind of guy who has starting experience and playoff wins, that wouldn't mind riding the bench in case Marcus Mariota got hurt, that has the same skill set. But I digress. I don't know.
Here comes his weekly Colin Kaepernick reference.
I didn't say a word, okay? I just
No, but everybody knows
only,
what I'm about to fucking say.
even if that was true, okay, which it is, even if it was true, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. If Mariota goes down hurt, you really have to ask yourself, where's this Mariota experiment gonna go? Is this riding with this man? Are you gonna keep praying that he lasts 12 to 16 games a year? Especially if for some reason you end up playing the Patriots every year for some weird reason out of the schedule. I thought you were only supposed to play these teams once 4 years, and yet they've seemingly paid the Patriots once, sometimes twice a year.
Well, it's one of those things, just like the Colts and the Broncos. The Patriots seem to play them every year for God knows what fucking reason. It just happens.
I wish I knew. But all right. So let's get to the best part of this. Sir, what is your prediction of what they're going to do this year?
The Tennessee Titans this year will go 7-9.
You say 7-9?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see. He says
Marcus Mariota will not make it through the season. He'll get injured, and Blaine Gabbert is not good enough to carry that team.
So here's my prediction. I think it's funny that you said 7-9. I said if Marcus Mariota lasts all 16 games, the team is 11-5 team. Very easily 11-5. If they do not have Marcus Mariota lasting all 16 games, the team is a 7-9 team at best. I wrote all these down way prior to, and that's exactly how I feel. Because if Marcus Mariota doesn't last the whole season, you have a mediocre team at best with a very good running game and no quarterback.
Then you also got to worry about Deion Lewis getting injured too, which could knock him down to a 5-10.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true, and that's why we play the games. But we have the picks in, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you hold us accountable, and we'll broadcast at the end of the season and see if we're right. All right, so now we're on to the grand jewel of the ball in the AFC South. And everybody would think I'll be talking about the Jaguars next, but it's not. Right now, it is the Houston Texans that we are talking about. Oh, wait a minute. Before I get off the Tennessee train, I do want to note some games which are important to Tennessee this year. 4 games on deck. The Eagles, the Chargers, the Patriots, and the Giants. Those are 4 important games.
That's the end of that season.
Remember what I said? They seemingly play the Patriots every single year, although it's not an official rivalry. Apparently it is now. So,
do you think Marcus Mariota looks at the schedule like, fuck again?
Like, fuckity, fuckity, shit. All right, so now let's get to the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans were well on their way of being the best team in the AFC South as this was going along. And then
until a torn ACL happened.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson out for the year. And that was rough. It was rough for them. They didn't get over it. They didn't make the playoffs. And they sucked. So
JJ Watt hasn't had a sack since week 11 a year and a half ago.
Ain't that something? And he's barely even played any game. Well, he played all 16 yet last year, right? Oh, no, he didn't. Nah, he hasn't even played long enough to have a sack registered. That's something to think about, right?
So the first thing I'm going to talk about with this Texans team
is
they are going to absolutely need Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt to have big seasons.
Hey, Phil, guess who said peekaboo, I see you?
What up?
Old friend Blast from the past. What's good, April? Hope you're doing well.
I ain't seen that name in a minute.
I know, right? It's been a long, long time. Shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. Step two.
Step two. What?
So, oh, there we go. That damn it, internet. I forgot I got big fingers. You know what they say about men with big fingers? They wear big gloves. Anyways,
They say, damn, you got some big ass fingers.
Two things that you should know, Phil, about her. First, she says hello. And the second, she's heading back to Vegas permanently tomorrow.
Cool beans.
You gotta. So you know, Phil, if you still have that chain somewhere. No,
I might be able to dig that up somewhere.
Oh Lord Jeebus. Yes, that's another story for another day, ladies and gentlemen. Possibly an off the rails show, which you know could happen tonight, depending on how Mr. Sin feels. I don't mind going to work drunk tomorrow, so there's that.
You're not doing it tomorrow. You just got this position. You're not doing it.
No, it's my old position. I don't go to that job until Monday. So
no, you have to think about your family, okay?
I did think about my family. My family says I should get drunk because I'm crazy. Anyways.
Hey, so don't even start that. See no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil shit. We know. Oh, we know.
An eggplant emoji. And then that emoji. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Exactly. Off the rail.
I'm telling you.
Yes. Anyways, off the rails, we should do it tonight. I'm not taking no for an answer because I have alcohol.
Well, it's going to be no for an answer.
Why? Is your stomach still hurting?
No, I just got other shit I'm doing.
Fine. Be that way, sir. You don't have to drink.
I have other shit I'm doing, sir.
Always other shit. Always has a murder to commit or somebody to kidnap or whatever. Let's see how it is.
Hey. Shut the fuck up.
Anyways, so the Texans' notable games for the year, sir, are the Patriots, the Redskins, the Browns, and the Eagles. I'm not mentioning any division games, by the way, because I think all of those count, especially because it's the AFC South. But the Patriots, Redskins, Browns, and the Eagles. The Texans, out of all the teams that we're talking about, have had the most roster turnover. They've added Brandon Wheaton, Tyrone Matthew. They shored up their offensive line with Zach Fulton and Senio Colomete. They added on the defensive line Chantrell Henderson and cornerback Aaron Colvin. And
did you just call Brandon Wheaton a notable signing?
It's notable because that guy has to back up Deshaun Watson. Say something, I smack you. Oh, you should have heard about the Bears last week. That was last week's show.
People go watch last week's show. It's on the YouTube channel. We talked about the Bears.
Yes, we talked about the Bears. And she said, say something, I'll smack you. Hey, I did say a lot of things about the Bears.
Hey, don't keep promises you can't keep.
Woo! So,
anywho,
let's talk about the Texans for a second. They're an interesting team because there's not enough tape to talk about Deshaun Watson to kind of see if the NFL has figured him out yet, right? Because he evolved throughout the season last year. He evolved from a running quarterback to a dual threat quarterback very fast, and his skill set went off the chain. So, my thoughts on the Texans is that these guys were the true division winners until Deshaun Watson got hurt. They could have easily went 14-2. They were that good.
Here was the problem with the Texans last year. They have this is not going to be popular opinion by no means by certain fan bases. They have the best wide receiver in the NFL.
True.
And last year, he was a shell of what he was because of Deshaun Watson. Mr. Watson did not know how to get him the ball regularly. So when he got hurt, Hopkins was like, okay.
And I think that, to the detriment, eventually Deshaun Watson got him involved into the game plan, and then once he got hurt, it was nothing. Nobody. It was rough.
If those two are on the same level this year, this team will be an 11-5 team.
And see, that's my worry. I think their ceiling is higher than that, just because Deshaun Watson is such an outstanding player. He just has a way of single-handedly winning games. He did that last year, even when he couldn't get the ball to Hopkins. I see. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I've seen Deshaun in preseason. He looks fan-fucking-tastic.
I have 2 predictions for this team's record.
Yes, I have a couple. So let's get to it.
With Deshaun Watson, 11-5. Without, 5-11.
I think I have them. Deshaun Watson 12-4. I have him in for that. I have him in for 12-4. With Deshaun Watson, if they really have to rely on Brandon Wheaton at some point, he gets hurt again, and Wichita gets hurt, we're going to look at the bottom of the thing, and that's the problem with these mobile quarterbacks, man. These new mobile quarterbacks, and there's not Cam Newton. They're not durable. They're made of glass. I tell you, I don't know. I mean, 12-4, I feel is their ceiling. I feel they're a legitimate playoff team with a bye. But without, it's rough, man. Like it's 5-11, 6-10 at the most, maybe. It's all bad. But yeah, that's what it gets. So you said, all right, so we got you down for 11-5. Let's put him in.
If D-Dub is healthy.
11-5. And I have the health. It's funny because I have the healthy and without healthy section too. The 5 and 5-11. Out, no playoffs. All right. So let's get to it.
You know you screwed up the order of this division because the worst team in the division usually goes first, and we haven't talked about them yet.
Oh, I know, because I have a lot of shit to talk about the Colts. Don't you worry, sir. But now we got to get to the Jacksonville Jaguars, the purest enigma from last year, the AFC South champions. Normally, I talk about them as the best team. The problem is that the Texans are around. And if Deshaun Watson gets healthy, that might spell trouble for Jacksonville. This year, they have 4 notable games. They have the Giants, the Patriots, the Steelers, and the Redskins amongst their division, and as well as their division games. Though that's rough going having to play the Patriots. First off, let's just start there. They've added some interesting players. They finally got a tight end, Austin Seferian-Jenkins. They added another tight end, Niles Paul. Apparently, Jacksonville likes tight ends. They've added they added an O lineman, Don Carey. The kick returner, Don Carey. They've added DJ Hayden. They've added Dante Moncrief, and they added Andrew Norwell on the line. Jacksonville, you were impressed by Jacksonville last year, weren't you?
I was very impressed by Leonard Fournette and their defense. As far as Blake Bortles goes, this will be the season that tells me if he's going to have a career.
I would agree with you on that.
They did not lose anything key to their defense.
Matter of fact, as you see, they showed up the O-line. They added 2 corners.
Like I said, the offensive line got good, got better.
Yep.
Still got Fournette back there and a good backup to Fournette.
Yep.
This is on Blake Bortles. Yes, they lost Allen Robinson, but Blake Bortles wasn't throwing in the ball anyway.
Exactly. So, Blake Bortles is an enigma. You know what I equated Blake Bortles to season last year? Alex Smith, his first season under Jim Harbaugh, where he put up unnatural numbers, right? Like these were numbers that we weren't accustomed to. Blake Bortles, he was efficient. He didn't turn the ball over. He ran with his legs, and he was a big target to try and bring down too. That bad motherfucker when he was on his leg, like when he was running, it took hell to bring that dude down. With that said, they added Dante Moncrief, who, I mean, yeah, I know he's no Allen Robinson. He's not the speedster that Allen Robinson is, but he is very serviceable as a hands guy on the outside. Yeah, I would 100% agree with you about this. About this being the season. Can he build off it like Alex Smith built off of it? They only have Chad Henne backing him up. So I don't know. That's a big mystery right there, sir. What you got on deck for them? What is your prediction?
This is probably going to be my bold prediction for this division. I believe this team goes 12-4 and wins the division again.
Think so? All right. So oddly enough, I had 11-5 because I had with a healthy Deshaun Watson, the Texans winning the division. But if not, then 11-5 easily can get into the wild card, easily can become a threat to them. I think to me that defense is still good. Jalen Ramsey is a beast of a corner, and he's starting to get in people's heads. He reminds me of
week one is going to tell you where Jalen Ramsey is because we have that proverbial wide receiver corner dream match in week one. We have Jalen Ramsey matched up with Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes, which should be. And remember, this is that's going to be the game I told you 2 weeks ago. That's going to define the season for the Giants, right? So
even though we both picked the Giants to win that division, yes.
Yeah, but that is. I mean, you got what's we predicted to be the best offense in the NFL going against the best defense in the NFL. It should be fun. It should be.
Wow, should it'll be like the fucking Browns-Eagles game the other day, 5-0.
I talked so much shit about that game yesterday. I talked so much shit. That game.
Hold on. If people go back and listen to our NFC East talk, we talked about the de-evolution of Nick Foles.
Yes, and how it has come to fruition, right?
Hey, it's not like I said. It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
All you get is spoilers from Sinful Black Entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. So you got 12-4, I got 11-5, and now we are on to the team that was the worst team. The worst team.
Sorry.
Are you laughing because they were the worst team, or are you just laughing?
I'm laughing because Jacoby Brissett put up Pro Bowl numbers on a 3-12 team.
Which has me
that still has not done anything to fix their offensive line. And Andrew Luck is going to be out after week one again.
Not only have they not done anything to fix their offensive line, sir, but they have not done anything to fix that leaky-ass defense that they have either. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the Indianapolis Colts. They've only added 4 players, like 4 notable free agency signings. They added Slauson, Ryan Grant, Eric Ebron, and Danico Autry.
And Ryan Grant ain't even notable.
Exactly. So normally I tell you what games are.
Let's sign a running back. Oh, there's Ryan Grant. Oh, wait, he can't run faster than the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Fuck it, 5 years.
That's how the Colts organization is ran, ladies and gentlemen.
Because their owner is a drunk.
Yes. The coach was begging for offensive line help for the last 5 years, 6 years.
Oh, you want wide receivers and defensive linemen? Okay.
We didn't even get that. The fucking Colts didn't even get that. Can anybody name me? If anybody out there, Indianapolis Colts fan, since 2011, name me one notable free agency signing.
Frank Gore.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's one of those. You need an offensive lineman. We'll get you a running back.
Hey, you just set out the challenge. I knocked that shit out the park, homie.
All right. So that was outside of his prime, Frank Gore. Oh, you need a running back? Oh,
he still ran for 1,100 yards with no offensive line.
Yes. There's only what they said. There's only 8 running backs over 35 years old. There was only 8 running backs over 35 years old that scored more than that scored more than 1,000. That had more than 100 touches and ran for 1,000 yards. You know who that was?
Frank Gore.
That was Frank Gore. Only one out of all 8 running backs. There was only one that achieved 1,000 yards and touch with 100 touches over the age of 35.
With no offensive line.
Without an offensive line. That's even worse. He did
I said the right word. I said the right word. Offensive. They're not an offensive line. They are an offensive line.
All right, give me a second. Hold on.
Okay.
I got you. Hold on.
I want to put my regular TV back on.
Hey, Stasia, can you get the TV back on? Just use the remote that's in the room. You're gonna need the it's on my dresser. Sorry.
Real life, ladies and gentlemen, real life.
Real life. Never stops, no matter how hard you try. All you gotta do is change the TV video to TV. All right, so back to the business. This organization is probably the worst ran, the worst coached. I don't even know who their coach is. They got rid of Chuck Pagano. Who's their fucking coach now?
I will look it up as you talk about the Colts.
Okay, they're the worst ran, the worst coached. Oh, I remember. Wasn't some guy, that is the offensive coordinator for the for the New England Patriots? That guy. He was supposed to be their head coach, and then at the 11th hour, the Patriots made him a deal that he couldn't refuse for him to come back to the New England Patriots. I wonder who he could be. Oh, that's right, Josh fucking McDaniels, who knew the dumpster fire that was the Indianapolis Colts, ladies and gentlemen.
Josh McDaniels walked in that motherfucker like this.
He's like, let me see this roster. Nope. He's like, I'm good.
And their head coach is probably going to be the most overhyped head coach because he ran 2 plays in the Super Bowl that shouldn't have counted as touchdowns, Mr. Frank Reich.
Oh, Frank Reich, that's right. Where they actually had the press conference with him actually signing the contract just to let people know.
That's how bad your team is and your ownership is. They actually have to have you sign the contract at the press conference because they don't want you to get up off your ass and leave. Like that boxer did last night in that boxing match on Showtime.
Hey, I don't blame that dude. You seen that nigga? That nigga was about to put hands on old little boy.
Homeboy said, I think my daughter's in the back, dude.
Nigga was out there looking like the Sandman from Mike Tyson Punch Out, about to kill this nigga. Nigga Lil Mac wasn't having that shit. Black Lil Mac wasn't having that.
Little Mac wasn't little.
I know. He wasn't little at all, but he knew better than to fuck with that nigga.
He did not want to catch those hands.
Now, I originally had this team when we did this prediction, right? So I originally had them at 6-10. After further review, as they say, I am now predicting them to be 4-12. Yes.
Was Andrew Luck unhealthy? Was Andrew Luck injured?
Yeah.
4-12. Was Andrew Luck healthy? 3-13.
This nigga said it will get worse with Andrew Luck healthy. God damn. Here's a stat if you didn't know. The Colts allowed the most sacks out of any team in the NFL last year. I just want to let people know that. They allowed the most sacks in the NFL. Andrew Luck died violent deaths last year.
He didn't even play last year.
Yeah, it was so bad that Jacoby Brissett sacks were sacks taken by Andrew Luck too.
And Jacoby Brissett still threw for almost 3,000 yards.
Like twins, right? When you get hit, right? Like if you have a twin brother and your twin feels it, they weren't twins at all, but Andrew Luck felt every single one of those sacks last year.
So breaking news, did you see the Broncos extended John Elway by 5 years?
Oh, wow. I did not know that. I did not know that, sir. All right. Talk about real quick. I'll be back in just a second. All right.
Alrighty. So let me just talk about Andrew Unlucky and the Indianapolis Colts here for a minute. Now, this team, since Peyton Manning could not beat the Patriots, they're still not going to beat the Patriots. This team is going to be worse with Andrew Luck because who knows if he can actually throw a football downfield. Yeah, we've seen him a little bit in the preseason, but have we seen him take a deep pass or even take a hit yet? I don't know if the caveman's body's going to hold up anymore. You know, they talk about him being as durable as fucking Aaron Rodgers, and they are correct. They're getting hurt every year now. And for some reason, the Indianapolis Colts don't do anything about the offensive line, which is exactly what they need to fix in order to get that to even try to make them healthy, even make them a contender. Everything starts with the offensive line. The running game, the passing game, everything is done by the O-line. The big boys. Sign some of them big sons of bitches. Give Andrew some protection. Get him some wide receivers because T.Y. Hilton is out there like, I'm the only one here now. Frank Gore is not. I don't even think Frank Gore came back this season. They should have went out and signed LeGarrette Blount before the Detroit Lions signed him.
They should have. They really should have went out and signed Des Bryant for a max contract.
Well, Des Bryant has announced that he is going to be showing back up to the Browns training camp this week. So
interesting developments. Holy fuck! All right, hold on. Let me go full. There we go. Interesting fucking developments. I think that Des Bryant needs to be on the Browns.
Hold on. We just got some breaking news.
More breaking news.
On Monday, the Colts announced that Andrew Luck will be placed on the physically unable to play list. Andrew Luck called Josh McDaniel and said, "Why do you want to be here?" "Oh shit, I don't even want to be here." "Oh my arm!"
No, he was like, how come you don't want me, man? Fuck.
The fucked up part is here. A week ago, Frank Reich guaranteed Andrew Luck would be the starting quarterback week 1, and now he's on the pup list.
Which means he has to stay there until week 8, right? Isn't that the rule? Damn, yes. It's that bad?
Yes.
I mean, they did try to kill him in that preseason game last week.
Well, because they have no offensive line to block for him. You know what their offensive line is?
A pack of ramen noodles?
No. Their offensive line is the same as when they tried that fake punt against the Patriots and just left the center and the kicker there.
Yeah.
That is their offensive line.
Might as well be.
Their offensive line is Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
Damn. 0-16. Colts are going 0-16 this year, ladies and gentlemen.
Now we know why the Colts turned down the trade from the Patriots to get Jacoby Brissett back.
0-16. Oh, speaking of which, I thought the funniest I found out Tom Brady is in a private group chat with Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett.
Yes.
I was like, damn. Well, because both of those men attend TB12, his TB12 camp. So, and his nutrition thing. So that's why they're in phenomenal shape and perform very well. In spite of Jacoby Brissett having a offensive line similar to a strainer last year. He wasn't playing quarterback, he was running for his life. Which which in hindsight, if you think about it, probably made him a better person.
When you have a worse offensive line than the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have a serious fucking problem.
When you have a worse offensive line than here's a notable. I gotta think of a notable shitty offensive line.
When you have I would trust the London Lily Nannies over the Indianapolis Colts offensive line.
The Shapoopy O-line, nigga. The Shapoopy O-line. Oh my God. Horrible, horrendous. All taxing off, they writing off O-lines as dependents.
I would trust 6 IT guys to protect the fucking quarterback better than that offensive line.
I would trust 6 of my son to protect the O-line, the offensive line, better than the Indianapolis Colts.
I would trust 6 packs of spaghetti. I just found something I don't trust more than Jay Cutler. That's the Colts offensive line.
Oh, God. I don't know about that.
I would trust Jay Cutler to block better than the Colts offensive line. You know why? Because Jay Cutler would just lay down and trip people and blow smoke in their face.
Wow. Here you go. I got something for you. I trust Matt Riddle not testing positive for marijuana more so than I trust the Colts offensive line.
Hey, man.
I know. It's so bad. It's so bad. All right. So now let's get to something more positive, ladies and gentlemen. And that.
Hold on. Before we do that, I'm going to look and see who exactly is on the Colts offensive line real quick, okay? Hold on.
I just know one person, which is Matt Slauson. And we know who Matt Slauson is.
Just give me a second. Hold on. Bear with me. Poor T.Y. Hilton.
He ain't going to have no stats because nobody's going to give him the ball because the quarterback's going to be on his fucking ass.
Okay. At left tackle, they have Anthony Costanzo.
Yeah, Costanzo, veteran. I know who he is.
At left guard, they have Quentin Nelson, who's a rookie.
Yeah.
At center, they have R. Kelly. I'm a pee on you, pee on you, pee on you.
Damn.
At right guard, they got Matt Slauson.
Yep.
And at right tackle, they have Austin Howard.
I mean, not bad, I guess.
But they got Denzel Good as a backup.
Denzel. Not Washington, but Denzel Good, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. We can move on from the garbage fire that is the Colts.
Oh, my God. 0-16. I had 0-16. That's what I'm changing to. You're still predicting.
So Madden predicted today that the Patriots would beat the Rams in the Super Bowl 33-29.
Nice. So are you still sticking with 4-12?
Yes.
4-12. Andrew Luck's out. I'm going 0-16. That's the next 0-16 team this year. I don't see the Colts winning a fucking game. Anyways, so now we're on to the NFC South, where things get a little bit much brighter, a little bit more sunnier.
I got sunshine on a cloudy day.
The division where 2 of the 4 teams play in domes. Dome. I don't even know why that's notable, but anyways, so let's talk about.
I was hoping that you would say something to make what you just said even a part of the fucking thing, but I don't know.
I don't know. That's all I had. I just know that these actually the one thing I can tell you, this division went from being the worst in football to perhaps being now the most competitive division in football over the last 3 seasons. Jameis Winston came through in the cut. All four quarterbacks.
He suspended for 4 games.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that too. Because I have them last on the list of the NFC South. And that's something that I have to note because there's something really important I have to say about that. But let's start with the Falcons because they're the division winners last year. They have a really hard schedule. So outside of their 6 division games, right? They have the Eagles. These are notable games. They have the Eagles, the Steelers, the Giants, the Redskins, the Browns, and the Packers. They got a few, three notable signings. They got Logan Paulson from the 49ers, Justin Bethel as the online, and Brandon Fusco, defensive guy. So, what do you think of the Falcons? The Falcons have always been an enigma to me, right? I mean, ever since 28, was it 28-3? Is that what we still call it? 28-3? Ever since 28-3, the Falcons have been a mixed bag. And I don't know. I mean, what you think, sir? I really got to get your opinion on it because I'm really lost on the Falcons. I don't really have an opinion about them.
All right. The Atlanta Falcons, they still got kind of reliable Matty Ice.
Yep.
The problem here is they still haven't given Julio Jones what he wants. They have to give this man what he wants. Yes, I know he's only in the second year of a five-year deal. He just re-signed. But when both your running backs get injured, Roddy White just disappeared. Julio Jones has been the man in Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they even had Taylor Gabriel. But Taylor Gabriel was more utilized in Kyle Shanahan's offense than he was in the second year of the non-Kyle Shanahan offense, which is why he left. But I mean, let's. I told you they're a mixed bag. Matt Ryan, I think, will always perform. I think Matt Ryan legitimized himself 3 years ago, even before the 28-3. I think it legitimized himself.
He was good that year, but he was better the MVP year.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he legitimized himself. So Matt Ryan, I think, will always going to play like Matt Ryan. My problem comes down to, can the Falcons stay healthy enough on both sides of the ball to make a playoff run? I say no. Not the way that this division is built now.
I say no, they can't.
Which now
Carolina is still not great, but they're better. They will be better than they were last year. The Saints defense has gotten better. And, of course, you got the Saints. Like I just said, the Saints defense has gotten better. And guess what? That man, Drew Brees, is still there.
Yep. That's 100% true.
In Tampa Bay, who the fuck knows with Tampa Bay?
I really can't wait to talk about Tampa Bay. Like I said, I'm saving them for last. And I have a statement to make about Tampa Bay, too. So, what is your prediction for the Falcons, sir?
I think they will go a mediocre 10-6.
You got 10-6? 10-6. I, oddly enough, have 9-7, and I, oddly enough, have them missing the playoffs this year. I think they're going to be good, but not great.
No, they're going to go 10-6 and miss the playoffs.
Okay. So we both agree that they're not making the playoffs. No playoffs. All right. Playoffs? That's right. Playoffs. That's right. So now we move on to the number 2 team, which is the Saints. The Saints surprised a lot of people, not because Drew Brees did anything that should have caused surprise. Drew Brees did what Drew Brees does. But they took the pressure off of Drew Brees last year. They put it on the shoulders of Mark and Alvin. Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara. With that, they had a hell of a season last year. They did their thing. Matter of fact, they were supposed to come in and steal that game in Minnesota. But we all know what happened in Minnesota last year, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. And probably one of the most surreal moments in playoff history. I couldn't even believe that happened. But I know that still sticks with them. I know that loss has got to hurt. They had that game in the bag, and one play cost them the entire game.
Play from a player who's not even on the Minnesota Vikings anymore.
Yeah. Isn't that something? Let's talk. And that's something I failed to talk about when we talk about the North. The man that was basically a hero. This man was a hero in Minnesota. Case Keenum gave him his blood, sweat, and tears, and they dropped him for Kirk Cousins. And I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins wasn't worthy of it. I mean, if you can get Kirk Cousins and you have all the tools, you just wanted a better quarterback, then yes, you get Kirk Cousins. I think 9 times out of 10, you make that decision to go get you a better quarterback. Problem that I have is that it came at the expense of a man that was loyal, a man that built himself off that team and became something special. But it worked out, I guess, because Denver has him for the low. So it's all good.
And Denver has an offensive line that's just as bad as the Colts.
I mean, it's only bad if your name's Paxton Lynch, but I mean, everything's bad if your name's Paxton Lynch. Anyway.
Bad fucking, what's his nut too?
Who?
The dude they traded to Houston and then brought back because he did the shit in Houston.
Oh, Osweiler?
Yeah, Brockweiler, that guy.
Hey, that man was there for the money. Don't even lie. That nigga got that max money and wasn't tripping. They paid that man out. That nigga can feed 4 generations of his family. He ain't sweating shit.
He went to Cleveland and got benched.
And he still got paid.
Team.
Everybody talk about Chase Daniel finessing teams. No, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Osweiler is the king of finessing. He's a finesse god. G-A-W-D, God.
Since you just made that announcement about the Vikings, I'm going to repeat myself from something I said earlier, which we failed to recognize last week, is Matt Patricia signed LeGarrette Blount to the Detroit Lions.
That's a beautiful thing. You know that? That means that they have that rookie running back now, and they have LeGarrette Blount. Nasty.
They actually might have a running game this year.
Nasty. This shit's going to be nasty in Detroit. And that's why I picked Detroit to make the playoffs. Yep. I told you. That's why I predicted Detroit to make the playoffs this year. So the Saints' notable games this year. It's funny how this team comes up in the conversation. The Browns, the Giants. It seems the Browns and the Giants are going to come up in a lot of these conversations we're going to have. The Redskins, the Rams, the Vikings, the Eagles, and the Steelers. Nasty. That's nasty, bro. I don't care. Anybody said they got to play that. That's a hell of a schedule. And
here's my bold prediction: the New Orleans Saints go 12-4.
You think they go 12-4? Here we go. Hey, while are we talking about? They had a lot of additions too on top of this, and they're going all in. So they added. They brought back Ben Watson. Ben Watson. They snatched up. They snatched up Alex Okafor, Jermon Bushrod, 2 O-linemen. They snatched up Tom Savage to back up Drew Brees. DeMario Davis on the defensive line. They brought in cornerback Patrick Robinson. They re-signed Drew Brees, 2 years, $50 million. They got George Johnson, Kurt Coleman on the defensive side. Initially, I had them predicted at 10-6. You say 12-4. I think that they're going to go in that division 13-3. 13-3. The way that it's set up now. And it'll make sense once we get to the next 2 teams. So now we're getting to the Panthers. The Panthers will live by Cam Newton, and they'll die by Cam Newton. And did you see yesterday? I think my shit froze up. Oh boy. Okay, we're back, sort of. Yeah, big send to the got broadcast. There we go. Are you back, sir?
Yeah, you froze up, so I closed out of it.
Yeah, it froze up on my end too. I told you it's a little storm coming up here. So, all right. So sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but it is what it is. That's half the fun, right? But getting through it is what makes it even better. So, you still there, sir?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. So the Panthers live by Cam Newton, and then they die by Cam Newton. And did you see the game yesterday?
No, I did not.
Okay, so Cam Newton decided that he was going to go for a dive, an ill-advised dive, a dive where he almost ended up like Kurt Angle and almost broke his freaking neck.
They were playing the Patriots, weren't they?
Yes, they were. So it's seemingly with these first stringers, and you know how you're supposed to practice offense. And basically, essentially how this goes, this is a dress rehearsal. If this dress rehearsal proved anything, it proved that Cam Newton is still going to have to end up doing it on his own. I don't like his chances.
He have to do it on his own because they have nothing else.
Well, they have Christian McCaffrey, who they drafted in the second round as the guy.
They still don't know how to use.
Use him as a running back like everybody else has. What the fuck is wrong with them?
No, because they just want him to be strictly a screen game guy.
Well, that's stupid. Then trade him to a team that'll use him like the New England Patriots.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine him in New England?
Oh, my God. Yes, I would. I would love that.
James White, Rex Burkhead, Sony Michel, and fucking Christian McCaffrey.
Yes, please, and thank you. So this is what the Panthers have on deck outside of their division games. They have the Giants. I mean, as notable games, they have the Giants, the Eagles, the Redskins, the Steelers, the Lions, the Seahawks, and the Browns.
5-11.
That's a rough one. And even with these additions, they added a bunch of people too. They brought back Julius Peppers again. They got Dontari Poe on the defensive line. They brought in Torrey Smith as a deep threat, which in the preseason still don't know how to use him. Jeremiah Sirleaf, Ross Crockle, Denora Searcy, Jarius Wright. Defensive guys, offensive guys. You say 5-11. I said 7-9. And I think this is the year that Robert Vera gets fired. It's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. So, and we're very quick with them because literally the team is going to live and die on Cam Newton. Unless Cam Newton relies on other players to perform, he's not LeBron James, right? The Cam Newton's not going to be able to do everything by himself. He's still a quarterback. And he's not.
I've explained this before. In basketball, one guy can literally win you a game. In football, one guy cannot win you a game.
In fact, one guy can literally cost you a game, being a one-man show. So now we get on to, this is my favorite part, because I know that you probably have your prediction on how you feel about Tampa Bay is. I think I kind of know what it is. And I think that my prediction about Tampa Bay might shock you. So Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming into this season knowing that the first 4 games of the season that they're going to be without Jameis Winston, right? So
yeah,
they went ahead and signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, re-signed him because he was there last year. They re-signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, which he went 3-1 last year in 4 games with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, they added some defensive guys. They fixed their whole kicking thing because their kicking was garbage ass shit last year, thanks to one guy, Roberto Aguayo.
The only kicking game worse than theirs was the one for the Chargers.
Pretty much. They added some notable guys. Mitch Unrain, Ryan Jensen, Vinny Curry. They only had 22 sacks as a team. So as a team, they had 22 sacks, which the record for sacks is 22 and a half. It should be actually 21 and a half because Michael Strahan didn't really get that last sack. But anyways, I digress. Anyway,
Brett Favre laid down for him and said, stick it in my butt.
Yeah, exactly. So the first 5 games of the season are what's going to determine exactly what the Buccaneers do. This is the first 5 games that they have in order. The Saints, the Eagles, the Steelers, the Bears, and then the return game for Jameis Winston is the Falcons. After that, the notable games are against the Browns, the Giants, the 49ers, and the Redskins. So, what do you think? Have you seen Jameis Winston in this preseason?
No, I haven't watched him.
So Jameis Winston has been playing like a monster. And I don't know whether teams are either not taking him seriously or Jameis Winston is finally taking an evolution in the game. I think the pressure of not having to throw to Vincent Jackson is finally coming through. He has Mike Evans back. Mike Evans is healthy.
For how long?
For as long as they only have 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 coverage, because if Mike Evans has to carry the load for this, it's going to be a problem. I don't think it's going to be a problem this year.
Because one thing that I don't like about Jameis Winston is that he leaves his receivers open for huge hits, which is why Mike Evans has been injured so much.
Between him and Vincent Jackson, they had no receivers last year. But you see what happens when his receivers are healthy. He puts up big numbers. I have a big prediction. And again, I don't know. I think you have your prediction and what you think is going to happen. My prediction, and I just want to throw this out there first, is that if they can go 2-2, if they can split the games with Ryan Fitzpatrick, maybe not be like great games by Ryan Fitzpatrick, but enough to where they win, but not enough to where you want to replace him with Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston can follow through on his performances, and he's actually, in fact, has turned the corner, given how light the schedule is after the first 5 games and what we would consider tough, I think that the Bucs go 11-5 and make the playoffs. What say you, sir?
I say the Bucs are going to go 0-5 to start the season.
God damn. You think they're going to lose against the Bears?
I do believe the Bears' defense is good enough to stop Ryan Fitzpatrick.
What if Ryan Fitzpatrick pulls out the Fitz magic, sir?
So I'm just going to ignore that whole statement you just said. And they will go 0-5 at the beginning of the season, but they will finish the season at 10-6.
10-6. We got Big Sin at 10-6. I'm at 11-5 with a playoff berth. And you are penciled in, sir. You are penciled the fuck in. I'm saving it. Putting the pen away. Locking it down. You will hold us accountable for these records, fans out there. Boom. Boom. All right. So the picks are in. We've gave you the predictions for the AFC South. We've let you guys know how we feel. If you agree with us or disagree with us, leave it in the comments, either on here or on YouTube, or even let us shout us out in the podcast if you disagree. Because right after Big Sim posts this up, we're going to be right on the podcast. Big Sim, you have anything else to say before we sign off?
Yeah, tune in next week for our AFC and NFC West predictions.
Yes, the day where I completely trashed the AFC West. I cannot wait. I am so
I
excited.
can't wait either.
I am completely trashing the AFC West so bad. So bad. The AFC West is the new old NFC South, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and that's the weird part about this. It's funny how things turn. Because a couple years ago, the AFC West was the best division of football. The NFC South was the worst. Now the NFC South could potentially be the best, and the AFC West is going to be the worst.
So just here's your preview for next week, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll give you something to think about the AFC West. The AFC West has a team whose quarterback gets booed out of the building. They have a team with a second-year quarterback that is yet not proven and could possibly cost his coaches his job. A veteran quarterback that might just steal the entire division by himself. And the Raiders. Enough said.
And let's give the Raiders a caveat here. An offensive line that allowed Derek Carr to get his back broken last year because he stood for the national anthem.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
And he's coming off of a broken back. He's not Kurt Angle, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to win a division with a broken freaking neck, okay?
And that's not saying that the Raiders were good before the injury.
No. I have a lot to say about the Raiders next week because they are coming here to Vegas, so I have a shit ton to say because that's all I hear about when I'm driving around throughout the day.
Yeah. So there's your preview. The NFC West, however, is going to be the most exciting division that we get to talk about. But the AFC West.
The last thing I want to say on my end for this one I hope this one puts a tingle in your ear about the Oakland Raiders. John Gruden is still ignoring Khalil Mack.
Yeah. Speaking of which, here's a thought. And I talked about this on Wednesday's show. 12 teams. 12. That's a third, roughly almost over a third of the NFL has inquired about Khalil Mack. With trade packages, with players, picks, money, all the above, and the Raiders have said no. Next year, they're going to have to either pay this man or let him walk. And if they sign him to the...
I know what they're going to do next year. You want me to tell you what they're going to do next year?
What, are they going to franchise him?
No, I'll tell you next week. We're going to save that shit for next week, okay?
Okay. Because I'm
going to leave it on a cliffhanger. You have to leave it on a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Anyways, so that man on the other side is my broadcast partner, confidant, best friend, brother, and certified ass kicker, Big Sim. My name is the flamboyant, styling, profiling, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, whatever. I don't know the whole Ric Flair thing. Son of a gun, Hollywood J. Black. Monday.
You're going to start having to call me the beard here pretty soon.
The beard. I know, right? Monday. How early are you up, sir?
I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. So I have to I start my new job at 8 o'clock, which means I leave here about 7:30, which is about 4:30 your time. I'm trying to think. I got to let you know tomorrow if I'm either going to do the show in the morning or do the show when I come home.
Why don't we do it at like 6 p.m. my time if you can?
Because I'm working two jobs and I can't remember whether I worked my second job on Monday or not.
Okay.
So I will let you know. I'll know tomorrow and then we'll have this conversation.
All right, homie.
But until then, this has been Overtime Sports NFL Preview. And guess what? We out this bitch.
And my shout out to my spirit animal, Ciro
Miedo. That's right. And we out this bitch. Deuces.